Europe was once a promise of peace after centuries of war, a promise of prosperity after destruction, a promise that borders would fade, hatred would disappear, and unity would prevail. But today, that promise feels fragile. Across Europe, migrants cross dangerous sea. Protests erupt in major cities. Factories slow down, energy prices soar, national flags rise higher than the European flag. And the world is asking one uncomfortable question. What is the future of Europe? Will the European Union survive this storm? Or will Europe return to the divisions that once plunged the world into chaos? This is the story of the European Union crisis and the uncertain future of Europe. After the Second World War, Europe lay in ruins. Cities were destroyed, economies collapsed, tens of millions were dead. European leaders realized something terrifying. If Europe continued fighting itself, there would be no Europe left. So they tried something radical. They chose cooperation over conflict, trade over tanks, unity over nationalism. Borders opened, goods moved freely, people traveled without visas, a shared currency was born. The European Union slowly became the world's largest economic bloc, bigger than the United States, bigger than the China. For 2 decades, Europe lived its golden age. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. The first major shock came in 2008. A financial crisis swept across the world, and Europe was hit hard. Greece went bankrupt, Italy drowned in debt, Spain's youth lost jobs, unemployment exploded. The European Union discovered a painful truth. You can share a currency, but you cannot force economic discipline. Germany saved, Southern Europe borrowed, Germany became the banker, Southern Europe became dependent. The North-South divide deepened. This was the first fracture in the European dream. Then came a crisis that money alone could not fix. War in Syria, chaos in Afghanistan, poverty across Africa. Millions of people looked, Millions of people looked toward Europe, not as luxury but as survival. Europe opened its doors. Germany alone accepted more than 1 million refugees in a single year. Italy and Greece became entry points. Sweden and Austria felt overwhelmed. At first, Europe spoke the language of humanity, but slowly, fear replaced compassion. Fear of jobs being lost, fear of cultural change, fear of identity disappearing. And something powerful emerged from the fear: nationalism. Political parties across Europe began saying, close the borders, stop immigration, Brussels has failed us. The refugees crisis didn't destroy Europe economically, it destroyed Europe politically. Then came the moment that shocked the world. In 2016, Britain voted to leave the European Union. Brexit was more than an exit. It was a warning. For the first time in history, the European Union didn't expand its strength. The idea that European Union was irreversible collapsed overnight. If Britain could leave, who would be next? Just as Europe tried to regain balance, another crisis struck. Russia invaded Ukraine, and Europe paid the price. For decades, Europe had relied on Russia for nearly 40% of its natural gas. Cheap energy powered German factories. Home, Homes stayed warm, industries thrived. The war shattered that dependency. Energy prices exploded, inflation surged, factories shut down, the euro weakened. Germany slowed. France struggled with power of shortage. Germany slowed. France struggled with power shortages. Eastern Europe demanded security. Western Europe feared recession. Once again, Europe stood divided. And in this chaos, nationalism returned stronger than ever. Across the continent, right wing parties surged. In France, in Germany, in Italy, in the Netherlands, in Hungary, in Poland, in Sweden, in Austria. Their message was simple and powerful: protect borders, control immigration, defend national identity, reduce European Union interference, put local citizens first. Europe, once the most liberal region on earth, was moving toward conservatism. Nationalism was no longer a fringe idea, it was becoming mainstream. But Europe faces a brutal contradiction. Its population is shrinking, birth rates are falling, societies are aging, workforces are shrinking, healthcare costs are rising. Without immigrants, Europe's economy cannot survive. But with uncontrolled immigration, Europe fears losing social cohesion. Europe is trapped between economic reality and emotional fear. So, what happens next? Europe stands at a crossroads. One path leads to deeper unity, a common defense, a common immigration policy, a common energy strategy, a stronger Europe. This would create something history has never seen: a true United States of Europe. Another path leads to fragmentation. More nationalism, weaker European Union institutions, borders return, the European Union survives only in a name. A third path lies somewhere in between: a multipolar Europe. Germany leads economically, France leads militarily, Southern and Eastern Europe rise regionally. The European Union survives, but as a balance of internal powers. The future depends on hard questions. Can Europe integrate immigrants successfully? Can Europe revive manufacturing? Can Europe reduce dependence on Russia and China? Can Europe control nationalism without suppressing democracy? Europe has shaped the modern world. It gave birth to democracy. It triggered two world wars, but it built the it built the largest political union in history. Today, Europe is being tested again. The European Union crisis is not the end of Europe. It is the test of unity, a test of identity, a test of survival. Because the future of Europe will help decide the future of global order.